All right, so here's a good one. RTT Tuber says, "Dear Hermit, I am a full-time motovlogger. I'm having a hard time making a living doing this, and I wanted to run some ideas by you.
Okay.
A, should I start cross-dressing and be the first transvestite dual sporter?"
What?
I don't know, that might get you some traffic.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah. "Should I buy a KTM and cater to those KTM dudes?"
Orange?
Yeah, that's an idea.
Yeah, that'll get you some subscribers.
Yeah. "Should I have a channel that features super great content that's well produced, that shows beginners how to get into dual sporting and get great deals on good gear?"
Great deals on good gear.
Yeah.
Huh.
All right, those are some ideas. We'll have to tell them what we think.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I kind of like that. Kind of like the end of that.
All right, well, that's it.
That's a tough one to think about, though.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a multi-part question.
Well, we'll answer that one last.
So we had one more question, right?
Oh, yeah. So there was that RTT Tuber.
What'd you say?
It was RTT Tuber.
RTT Tuber.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think I might know who that is.
You think you might?
Yeah, I think I might know who that is. But maybe not.
Well, I mean, sometimes people use, their personal accounts, not their...
yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Video accounts.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So
I think I know who you're thinking. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so if it is, okay, so first idea was the cross-dressing transgender thing, right?
So they want to know if being a cross-dresser would make a good channel?
Yeah, well, it would help them kind of elevate their YouTube and business.
Motovlogging, right?
Yeah.
As a cross-dresser.
Right. Yeah, the first cross-dressing or transgender, whatever, motovlogger. Okay. That was an idea. It's kind of gimmicky.
It's kind of a weird question, but okay.
Well, well, if it's who I'm thinking, they're kind of a weird person. But here's the thing: if it is that guy, like the first 6 months I watched that channel, I thought it was a chick. So
seriously?
Yeah. So I think they kind of have already done this, and if it worked, they would know.
Yeah, but if it's who I'm thinking it is, and I think it is, they never actually ever claimed to be a girl.
Well, but we didn't say a girl, we just said transgender, right?
Well, transgender, yeah.
Okay, so if you were going to go to that guy's channel right now and look at like the last 4 or 5 title cards, would you see one where he's wearing women's clothing?
Probably.
Yes. So, like I said, this has been done, and either it's working or it ain't.
Right.
Okay. Now, maybe it's not them. So if it's not them, then trust me, it's been done, and I couldn't tell you if it's working or not. But go look for it. You'll find it.
You have to look too far.
Right. All right. And so then, what was? The next idea he was wondering about trying was buying a KTM and motovlogging on a KTM.
Yeah, right? I mean, that'll get you some subs, but...
Yeah, well, I'm guessing the logic there is that the KTM guys are, like, more passionate about their brand.
Right.
And they tend to have more money, so maybe they would drive more revenue.
That's true, but you gotta also think about the costs associated with running a channel.
Yeah, well, that's the problem, is I think, like, if a KTM costs the same to run as, like, a Honda, then, why not? But they don't, right? They're way more. If you're talking about, thinking about a business and kind of considering your bottom line, then, that's expensive. Because first of all, like the KTM itself is way more expensive than, say, a Honda, right? And then you got to pay for maintenance.
Yeah.
Yeah, maintenance is a whole lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's that. Yeah, so I can think of another problem, going along with just the expenses still, is, if you're going to be shooting motovlogs, then you got to buy a second KTM to ride while your first KTM's getting fixed.
That is super expensive.
Yeah. Well, I mean, KTM stands for Keep Two Motorcycles.
Oh, man. Hermit, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
You know the one I always heard?
What?
Keeps taking money.
Oh, yeah, there's that, too. Yeah, well, they kind of say, like, the KTMs are kind of like Ferraris, like they're they're just higher maintenance, but you know, you get something for that. You know, they're awesome bikes. They just wound kind of tight.
Right.
Yeah. So that, which you know reminds me. Speaking of Ferraris, you get that problem too if you got a KTM. I imagine that you get all kinds of rock star problems. You know, you got like women throwing themselves at you. You get yourself like a high maintenance wife, and then
I'm sure big jacked up pickup truck or Ferrari.
Yeah, you get a girlfriend on the side, and then another girlfriend on the side, and that's expensive. And then you get some baby daddies, and
just a wife and 2 girlfriends and 2 KTMs and a jack up pickup truck and a Ferrari.
Yeah, and you're going to try to make money doing a YouTube channel with all them problems? Forget that.
I can't handle that.
Now, do you know anybody? Do you know any guys that have KTMs?
I know a few.
Okay, so I'm betting that like when they walk into a party with their wife or their girlfriend, people like look at them and are like, "What's she doing with him?" Right?
He rides a KTM.
Yeah. Somebody's like, "Oh, he rides a KTM." They're like, "Oh, okay, that makes all the sense in the world then." Right?
That's the answer.
Yeah. So. Yeah, this is just like a known thing. You don't want a KTM. You don't want all those kinds of problems. So, anyways, RTT tuber, don't do the KTM route unless you want to like have women throwing themselves at you and 2 motorcycles in your garage and all kinds of other rockstar problems.
All kinds of other rockstar problems.
Yeah.
I don't see how it's worth it.
You're not going to make any money that way.
Nope.
Yep. Okay. So then, what was his last idea? Oh, that was the weird one. It was. Should he just make a channel focused on people new to dual sporting and kind of educating them from a beginner's point of view and introducing people to really cheap, awesome products that make riding dual sports easier?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
That'll never work.
You don't think that'll work?
That'll never work.
Are you kidding me?
No, come on, man.
But that's exactly what I would look for in a channel.
Alright, if you're not going to take the mailbag seriously, then we're just not going to do it anymore.
Oh, come on, Hermit.
Yeah, I'm ending it now.
Ugh.
Over and out.
That is a fun one to do.